What is up, YouTube? Alright, recapping fights. UFC 321. Um, Not making this long video. Still very, very annoyed with what's going on. However, just gotta bite the bullet and do it. It's just kind of how it goes, man. Overall, thought it was a pretty mid card. I didn't think it was that good. There were some decent fights, some decent performances, but whatever. It just was not worth $85 if I'm going to be honest. I'm not even hunting today. That's how mad I am, and kind of just want to rip this off like a band-aid, move on. Back-to-back weeks of just tough. I think I ended up actually making my money back because of the main event, but still, is not how I wanted to do it. We're just gonna break it down. First fight we had, what was the name? Mizuki Inoue defeats Jacqueline Amarim by decision. Should have known, with this fight being the first fight, not going my way. Finally, after a few years, had a strawweight prospect that I was high on in Amarim. She got dominated. She gassed out early. As soon as she faced any adversity, it was over. I think I gave Inoue all 3 rounds. Whatever. Don't care. On to the next fight. We got Mitch Raposo beating Azat Maxim. Oh, wait. And like I said, I had Amarim. I had Amarim second round sub. She got dog walked in a decision. But yeah, on to the next fight. We got Raposo beating Maxim by decision. One thing I will say, love how assertive the ref was, especially that was a really bad fence grab in round 3 by Maxim. However, what I'm going to sit here and talk about today is that Maxim should be cut. Spam and takedowns, no control. Switch it up, bro. He kept getting clipped by that overhand right too by Raposo. Even though I had money on Maxim, even though I wanted Maxim to win, just thought it might have been better. No, he lost. Cut him. Absolutely fine with it, especially with the cheating and the boring style. Cut him. Raposo gets to live to see another day. Great win for him. I think I had Raposo. No, I think I had Azat first round, Raposo last 2, but Raposo technically gets a 10-8 because of the point deduction in round 3. On to the next fight, we got Hamdi Abdelwahab defeating Chris Barnett by decision. I had Hamdi by first round KO. Barnett was able to take a lot of shots. Hamdi kind of low-key does have a gas tank a little bit. Just running into him. But the takedowns weren't really set up that well. But he kept getting them, and it didn't matter. Barnett unintentionally mooned the crowd at the end of round 2, I believe it was, or end of round 1. His trunks just fell down, so that was crazy, especially that being in Abu Dhabi. Good win for Hamdi. It shows that he's not bottom of the barrel, even though he lost to Jamal Pogues. I've seen that. But it is Chris Barnett. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, I had Hamdi first round KO. He did it by decision. Whatever. On to the next fight, we have Nathaniel Wood defeating Jose Delgado by decision. This was the first, one of the only perfect ones I got correct. However, I felt guilty taking this one. This probably was top 3 robbery of the year from what I remember. Probably a lot of recency bias, but this one was bad. This one was bad. I feel like the robberies haven't been that bad recently. But this one was bad. I think Delgado, you can make a case, won all 3 rounds. He definitely won one. I know Delgado himself got dropped in round 1, but I think Delgado was up 58 to 18 on significant strikes. He also had a knockdown himself earlier in that round. And then 2 and 3 were kind of close. I did lean Delgado. I think I had Delgado all three. Maybe I gave Wood three. I don't know. I gave Wood either 2 or 3. I can't remember, but technically I got that right. That is not how I thought that was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna be the experience that would have shown from Wood that would have helped him. But Delgado's legit. Even with this loss, I think he'll come back and he'll look pretty decent. But he's got a few things that he's got to tweak. But he's got time. He's young. On to the next fight. We got Walter Walker defeating Louis Sutherland by submission in the first round. I had sub second round, man. I didn't think Walker was going to get it done this easy. Didn't really know anything about Louis Sutherland. However, I was still like, this might be the play. Does it not in the first round. First round, a whole lot of nothing. Second round, but he got it again. Fourth heel hook, man. You know what? Was not able obviously to assess too much, but Walker was throwing some front kicks and body kicks, and they were landing. They look kind of clean. They look kind of fast for a heavyweight, so maybe he can build off of something like that. But I feel like this heel hook thing, even though heavyweight is horrible and very low IQ, I feel like this heel hook thing is not going to work forever. So I would like Walker to take this time to really develop his striking and add some different facets to his game before fighting someone next, because he probably does deserve a ranked fighter. I know him and Hamdi are trying to fight each other next month. I doubt it. I think that Qatar card also has 15 fights. I don't think UFC has ever done more than 15 on a card, at least like since I've been a fan. I just don't think that's a thing. So doubt they do that for that card, but maybe they do that later. But I think Walker does deserve a top 15 opponent, man. What is he, 4-1 in the UFC? I think he's there, man. And he's doing it by sub. Last 4, same sub. Which shows how bad the heavyweights are, but at the same time it is tricky how he gets it and everything. So we'll see, man. I don't know. I don't know too much, but on to the next fight. We got Ludovit Klein defeating Mateusz Rebecki by decision. I have Rebecki first round KO. That was like my wild one. That was like, oh, I'm just throwing this out there. This probably does not hit, but that'd be cool. Yeah, probably should have won Klein decision. Granted, did I think it was gonna happen like that? No, not really. Might not have too. I think Klein did something to his leg or foot or whatever, so that's why he was stuck on the ground in the third round. Because I know Ludovit Klein is no slouch on the ground, even though Rebecki's good. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, I had Klein winning 2 rounds. No, you can't argue. And I was thinking about this when I was watching the fight. You can't argue 10-8 round 3 for Rebecki, because Klein was landing a lot off of his back. Those elbows and back fists were crazy, low key. And there was a point where I was like, Klein could win off of being on the ground and just throwing these up. But no, Rebecki eventually did get that third round, obviously. But yeah, I had Klein winning that scoring wise, but I did bet Rebecki first round KO. So we'll see what happens. But Klein also great combos earlier in the fight. Those combos were kind of sick. Remind me of some prime Down Cerrone type stuff. On to the next fight, we got Ikram Aliskerov defeating Jun Young Pak by unanimous decision. I had Aliskerov second round KO. I think I had him second round KO. It was first or second. Yeah, I had him second round KO. He didn't look that good, man. And granted, Park looked kind of sneaky, but I don't know. He was showing the wrestling, so Listrov definitely has decent wrestling. I don't think he looked that good. I don't know. I think he barely breaks top 15. I think he's gonna be one of those guys that breaks top 15 and then loses somebody on the upcoming or a vet or something, and then he just keeps on finding his way in and out of the rankings. I don't know anymore. Maybe it's a bad performance, whatever. It's so weird. I'm calling it a bad performance, but I had it 30-27. I think almost all those rounds were very close, but I think Alistarov just did a little bit more than Jun Young Park. But I don't know. Alistarov does probably deserve ranked fighter next. I'm not going to argue that honestly. But yeah, I don't know. I thought this guy was going to be better. Maybe it was an off night. Who knows? It's not like Jun Young Park literally looked like a slouch out there. It's Jun Young Park. You know, he's just probably like middle tier of that unranked middleweights. Maybe right in that like high tier of the unranks. Maybe, probably not though. So that's just how that goes. On to the next fight. We got Quillen Salkilled with the first round KO over Nasrat Haqparast. I had Haqparast decision. Wow. I mean, I was so scared though. When it happened, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's dead." Like I don't say that a lot or think that. Like I think was another time I thought that. Like I didn't even think that when Gaethje got KO'd by Holloway. Like I was like, "Ah, Gaethje's fine. He just needs a few minutes." When that head kick landed and the way he dropped, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's dead." Like I might need to stop watching the sport. I can't watch it. People are actually dying now. Like he's fine, I think. Hopefully, I don't know. It took him a lot of time though to like kind of wake up. I think it was like 5+ minutes. So that's very, very scary stuff there, man. Oh, I hope he's all right and everything, Nasrat. But Salkild's legit, clearly. Like that was insane. Probably won't be KO of the year. It should definitely be top 10 though. It was that insane. Um, Cause it's not even like a crazy strike, like it's a roundhouse kick, but the impact it had, the way he put down Nasrat was crazy. So I don't know what you do with the Quinnen next. I think actually they're going to Australia in February. There's rumors of that. You have to have this guy on that card. You have to. I don't care if it's a guy level below Nasrat. I don't care if it's a guy level above Nasrat. I don't care if it's same level. You need to give him another one. Probably should be anyone hit that range of Nasrat, if not higher. Like him versus Ribovich, that would be insane. Sign me up. Um, oh, that would actually be insane. Ooh, I would love that actually. I might YouTube post that in itself. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, yet again, I do hope that Nasrat is all right. That looked very, very scary. That is, I'm a softie, so I'm gonna say that's like the scary and the downside of the sport. Obviously, a lot of fun, a lot of outcome possibilities, a lot of technique and strategy in it. But to see somebody go out like that, it's always gonna be scary, man. I just hope he's all right. On to next fight. Main card started right here. Trash main card, if I must say. But we'll start with the first fight. Azamat Murzakanov, first round KO over Alexander Rakic. Wow. I had Murzakanov by decision, and I was still like tweaking about that. I was like, "Whoa, we don't really know what Mirzakanov's really gonna look like that much," and you know, Alexander Rakic is way bigger than him and has fought some of the best in that division. But I was still leaning it because I was just like, upward trajectory, downward trajectory. I still think that plays a factor sometimes, but um, Azaman showed he's on that level, man. I think he stuffed a takedown early from Rakic, and then he lands. It was such a clean and subtle like jab, like southpaw jab, puts down Rakic. I couldn't believe it. nasty, just right on the chin, sneaky, right in there. And, Rakic is taking, all this damage, whatever, but that puts him down. So either Azamat, perfect place, perfect timing, or I don't know, or he has legitimate power. Who knows? But yeah, I had Azamat by decision. He did it by first round KO. On to the next fight. We got Alexander Volkov beating Jailton Almeida by split decision. I had Volkov third round KO. I'm not really going to talk about this fight too much, just because it was very dull and boring, like most people are saying. The one thing I will say is I did have Volkov 1 and 3, Almeida 2. Third round, it's kind of like another similar situation to what was it that we were just talking about? Was it Raposo fight? No, it wasn't Raposo. What fight? What fight was it? Oh, okay, yeah, kind of similar to the Klein and Rebetsky thing. Like Volkov and Klein were very active and like off their back, and were landing way more damaging strikes. So damage triumphs control. Almeida, I don't think they should cut him PFL him, but give him a stern warning. Like, be like, dude, like, this is ridiculous. Like, you, like, I don't know. I need to see more out of Almeida because it's so crazy that he just can't throw anything, and it just really gives off those vibes that he's just in there to collect a quick paycheck and just do bare minimum. So we'll see, but yeah, did have Volkov 1 and 3, especially off of just strikes that he was landing off the bottom guard. So good for Volkov. On to the next fight. The only other one I got predicted perfectly, and that's Umar Nurmagomedov defeating Mario Bautista by decision. Gave Umar 1 and 3. Bautista 2 with the knockdown. I don't know if I think it was a flush knee. It was very close. It was like weird, but um, you know, Umar showed some resiliency here, and Mario Bautista is legit, man. He is legit. Even after his performance, he definitely did better than I thought, honestly, especially in the grappling. So, got to give him kudos there. He's definitely going to be back for sure at some point. Um, yeah, he tried to win it, man. He knew that if it was going to go to the judges, he wasn't going to get it. Um, I wasn't listening when they read up scorecard. I think I did hear somebody say 30-27 though. Ridiculous. How could you ever give Umar that second round? I'm sorry. But whatever. I mean, Bautista knew he had to get the finish, so he almost did. Who would have thought? What a pain. But I did say Umar by decision. And I almost hedged it, and I'm so glad I did not. I'm so glad took that back and just doubled down on decision. So shout out to Umar. He should not be fighting for the belt next. Did not see anything that made me feel like the Merab fight. Like, I still think it'll be a decent fight, but I think if Umar does beat Merab in a rematch, if you tell me there's a way, it's either one flash KO that nobody sees, like obviously that's always on the card for almost anybody, or two, Umar wins first 3 rounds, and then 4 and 5 he's fighting for his life, and it looks really really bad, and the judges still give it to Umar. Only way. Umar's gas tank did not look that great in this fight. I don't care if he's only training 3 rounds. With Merab, you need to be ready to go at that pace every single time, and I don't think Umar's ready next. I think Umar needs to fight one more guy. They are going to give him another title shot, so I don't even know why I'm harping on this. It makes absolutely no sense, but it is what it is. That's just how it goes. Bantamweight is just going to be a revolving door of these guys that are on one-win streaks because you have such a great champion that's active and running through people. That's how it goes. Whatever. On to the next fight, though. We got Mackenzie Dern defeating Verna Jandiroba. A unanimous decision. This card just proved to me again that strawweight's so cooked. It was cooked before, but I was starting to kind of gain a little bit of momentum with it. I was hyped going in. I was like, Amarim's fighting all this, and Verna! Verna was trash. Just letting herself get outstruck by Dern, who's striking out a little better, but not good enough for that to happen. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I knew it too as soon as I went to judge. I'm like, I mean, I did score for Dern. I did think it was closer than people thought. I had 48-47 Dern. I had Dern winning 1, 4, and 5. I had Virna 2. 3 is a toss-up for sure. I still gave to Virna. I forget why right now, but there was a reason, probably. Dude. Fuck. Virna, dude. Just no urgency, man. You had it. This could have been your division, Virna. Could have been. But no. Now, Mackenzie Dern's champion. She has to go back and face all these girls that just beat her. And Lemos, Yan Jiaonan. All these girls just dogged her within the past 2-3 years. Better start fighting all of them in these horrible rematches that nobody cares about. We have no prospects because your biggest prospect just lost in the first fight of this card. Strawweight is so cooked. Saw people say bring back Weili. No. Let her be up there. Just let this division die out like featherweight. I'm so sick of it. What can they do? I don't know how strong one's strawweight division is. I think their atomweight division's good. Start plucking. Get some of them over. Like, honestly, this is so bad. Strawweight's so bad. I couldn't believe it, dude. If Virna won, at least it's like, you have something. Dern has lost to all of them but Virna. What do you do? Probably have to do Dern Suarez. There's like nothing else you can really do. Pain, dude. I'm not even like, this main card was so bad. On to the last fight. Aspinall, gone, no contest, eye poke. Dude. This sport, man. This was the worst outcome outside of an Aspinall loss. So bad. I think I would have rather a 5-round draw where like Aspinall 10-8s the first round, wins the second, Ciryl then wins the last 3, something like that. I think I might have preferred over this. Actually, no, maybe I would have preferred this because it still has an intrigue to it and everything. At least that I think, not what 90% of the MMA fan base thinks. But man. Sick. Let me break down the fight from what I remember, because a lot of people are misconstruing this. Like a lot. Anything from analysts to fighters that not even fight. Well, analysts, fighters are kind of the same thing because they're mostly ex-fighters, whatever. To fans, I've seen hardcore fans, I've seen absolute casuals come out and say Ciryl Gane was smoking him. Brother, what? It must be because Tom Aspinall is like, it must be kind of like the Hamzat Burns thing. It kind of gives me that vibes where Hamzat didn't go out there and absolutely kill Burns, and they're like, oh, I don't know about Hamzat anymore, all this. I had to look at the stats because I was like, hey, and mind you, before I say this, if the round ended there, which it probably was about to end somewhat, actually, there might have been something crazy that happens in the last 30 seconds, whatever. I scored to Gane. The jab alone was nasty. I will get into, actually, I will break, actually, I was just going to leave this cut dry blank. We're breaking it down. I had Gane winning the first round. I think before the eye poke, I was nervous. Obviously, I was going to be nervous no matter what happens. That's just how that goes. I was also intrigued in a way. And I wouldn't even say I was pessimistic because I still thought Tom Aspinall was going to win. Ciryl Gane needed to be perfect out there for all 5 rounds. And don't get me wrong, had a fantastic game plan. It was working, but I had to look at the numbers to see why everyone was thinking this. And it's like, I was like, at first I thought it was just mostly Jon Jones fans, casuals, same thing at this point, honestly. And then I was like, okay, analysts are saying this who aren't the sharpest ever, but they're still analysts, whatever. Hardcore fans are saying this. YouTubers are saying this. And I'm sitting here, actually, the YouTubers have actually kind of been mild with it. And I'm like, yeah, like, Gane was exposing some stuff, but I didn't think that Gane was going to run away with it like that. Gane had to be perfect for 25 minutes, just like the Ngannou fight. I don't think that might have happened. Gane, though. Let's talk about how Ciryl Gane looked. This guy is the bane of my existence anymore. I was so high on him going into the Ngannou fight. I was like, this guy's going to smoke Ngannou. It's just, he's the next generation of heavyweight, whatever. Was wrong there. Beats Tai Tuivasa, who cares? Show some adversity, who cares? Jon Jones fight. He's going to run through Jon Jones, show him that this is a different division, and he is a different fighter, whatever. Gets ragdolled by Jon Jones, shows no resistance to the sub. One of the shadiest things I've ever seen, and maybe it's a cope, I don't care. That was, if there's a fight that you could ever tell me is rigged in MMA, it was that one. 110%. Grappling still looked horrible in Volkov. It did. It was just whatever. In the rematch, at least. He comes out here, man. Great game plan. Exposing the striking defense of Aspinall. Landing that jab. Moving around a lot. Stuffed a takedown. A takedown. Some people are saying there was eye poke there too. I'm not going to get into it. That doesn't even matter to me anymore. I don't care. What I was witnessing in those 4.5 minutes, was I mad? Yes, I did. Even though I was saying all week, oh, he doesn't need to finish him quicker than Jon Jones. I wanted it so bad. I wanted him to finish it within 2 minutes. It would have been awesome. It is what it is. But I have to give Ciryl Gane credit. Good game plan. Shrugged off a takedown. What else was it? He was rolling with the shots really well, and I wish I would have thought about that a little bit more running it, going over the predictions. Like I said, he still would have had to have been perfect, but he was very good at rolling with some of these shots. Aspinall landed some big shots, but they didn't look that big because Ciryl Gane was rolling with those punches with the high guard. It was pretty sick. It was high level, man. It was high level, both sides. Part of me wishes that Aspinall would have ran through him just to prove a point. But, like, part of me is also excited for a rematch because it was high level. These guys are the best at heavyweight, which is so crazy to say about Gane because it's wrestling. But he stuffed Tom Aspinall's takedown. He did it. Gosh, but no, it is better for the sport probably. Let me talk about what Aspinall did well. Leg kicks, they were there. I couldn't believe how there they were. Literally turned Ciryl completely around with one of them. He landed two head kicks, I believe it was, through the guard. Nasty, fast too, very fast. So he was showing new wrinkles to the game. It was just Tom Aspinall, by far his biggest weakness. And another thing I wish I would have talked about more heading into this fight is his striking defense. He leaves his chin up in the air. And I didn't think about it because I'm like, oh, Ciryl doesn't have power, so I don't need to worry about it, whatever. If Ciryl is touching with that jab every single time you try to blitz in, that's going to be an issue. You need to address that. Like I said, I was nervous, but I wasn't worried thinking, oh, Ciryl going to run away with this. I was like, it's definitely going to make it an interesting fight, but I don't know, man. Um, Gane looked decent. He cheated. It happens. It looked dirty. I don't think Gane was doing it intentionally. I think Gane kind of realized that he had a decent chance in there. I don't think Gane was looking for a way out. Um, Now Aspinall, I don't know, man. I don't want to say that he was looking for a way out. When I watched it live, I was like, oh, he's looking like he doesn't want this. But the eye poke was pretty bad. People were like, oh, it's the other eye. I said, man, you don't know anything. You don't know, bro. Like acting like y'all are professional fighters and whatever. Like I know Anthony Smith and Chael are saying stuff. I didn't even see what they said, but I think they were saying he should still fall. I don't know. Maybe. I thought watching it live he could have. He had 5 minutes. I feel like I've seen worse eye pokes where they've recovered in time. Um, I also did want to wait to make this today rather than yesterday because I think there was a video that came out where the doctor was like, yeah, I was right that the fight was stopped, but there's not going to be any serious long-term damage. But I don't know. Is the doctor saying that because the camera's there? Is the doctor like very, what's it called? I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. Very careful when it comes to like not cautious and saying that like the fight should have been stopped when really other fighters have suffered way worse. Yeah, I don't know, man. All I know is that even though it's John Jones fans and casuals and everything, that's gonna hurt Aspinall's stock so much because it's not like even the eye poke happened a minute into the fight. It happened at the end, and everyone was saying he has to do it quicker than Jones. I just need Aspinall to run through him in the rematch, but also very intrigued. It was pretty high level, so that was pretty cool, honestly. In that regard, like I gotta take the bias out of it and everything, and gotta appreciate both guys came out there with a decent game plan. Aspinall was just going for the legs. Gane was working off the jab and just moving around constantly. Um, we'll see what happens in the rematch, man. I think it'll be close. Actually, I don't know. I do think Aspinall will start Gane out in the first round, actually. I think it will be towards the end of the first round, though. I don't think he'll beat the John Jones in 2 minutes, whatever. But I don't. Like I'm saying, dude, Ciryl Gane's got to be perfect yet again. And Aspinall, if Aspinall goes out there and doesn't work on his striking defense, I'm going to get mad. And if he doesn't work on his striking defense, I do think Ciryl Gane might have a decent chance of winning. I would still favor Tom, even if the striking defense doesn't improve, just because the power and the finishing ability, the wrestling credentials of Aspinall. But I don't know, man. Horrible way to end the event. Now it just sucks. Like, what they should do, I know they won't do this, but what they should do, Ciryl Gane, Aspinall, get back in there December to end the year. I don't want this being on a Paramount card. I don't. I want this to be wrapped up going into the next Paramount card. But now, what? I'm probably going to have to wait until March, April to get this. And then we're going to see a Prey and Jones just fight in July. We're not even going to see a title fight because Aspinall or Gane will be holding the belt by then. But, gosh, I hate this. And shout out to Prey and Jones for being pussies, too. Both of them. Both of them. Absolutely afraid talking all this shit on Aspinall. Like, y'all are pussies. Both of you. Fighting each other. Bunch of old men afraid of real heavyweight power. Actually, Prey does have heavyweight power as a light heavyweight, but still. I'm sick. Not how I wanted this to end. Definitely plummets the stock of Aspinall no matter how you look at it, even from a biased perspective, whatever. That's not a good look. It does go to show, though, that even though people were hating on Tom, whatever, like, people did have high hopes for him at the same time. Because, yeah, I don't know. As soon as he faced a little bit of adversity, people were like, oh, Ciryl Gane was running away. Brother, he might have bloodied his nose off at a jab. We have still never seen Tom lose a round in the UFC. He's only been to round 2 once, and it was against Arlovsky. So, like, I don't get why people are all like, oh, Ciryl Gane was one. No, bro. These Jones fans, man, they're worse than Khabib fans. They're worse than McGregor fans anymore. John Jones. If we held him in the same regard, we'd still be talking about Dom Reyes, where he arguably lost. Thiago Santos, who tore his ACL early in that fight and still went to split decision. Amid Anthony Smith, he took 5 rounds. Aspinall's putting all these guys out in 1, so God forbid he has some adversity. Crazy. Run the rematch back. Get Ciryl Gane out of there quick and easy. I'm also down for a decent fight because that was high IQ, high level fight. So I'm down for like a longer fight too at the same time. But I do need to see justice be served, and it starts with Aspinall righting this wrong, get him out of there early, round 1, and then Pereira and Jones go back to being silent or go back to just being like, oh, we'll fight each other, but we're not going to fight Aspinall for the belt. Ooh. Yeah, have fun at the White House card, idiots. Whatever. 7 of 13 winners predicted correctly, 2 of them being perfect. Horrible card. Started off horrible, ended horribly. I give up, honestly. What was supposed to be 10-minute video turned into like a 30-minute video. Probably should have hunted at that point. I'm just so mad about this. Back-to-back weeks like this, man. And now we got a mid-Apex card. Got Onama versus Steve Garcia. Love Steve Garcia, by the way. It's just that shouldn't be main eventing. That should be the co-main event on Apex. Whatever. I'm done. Forever. Goodbye.